Hello, welcome to MelMade. My name's Mel, and this is a podcast all about the things that I have made, which usually means knitted. I haven't done any sewing for quite a while, so we are still with the knits at the moment. I'm trying a bit of a new setup here. I've got some light, which is really nice, and I'm sort of moving around the different rooms in my house trying to find where I can get light and where it sort of makes sense. So we're trying this corner of the living room this time. Yes. So welcome. Yeah, we are having a bit of calm weather today. I live in the northeast of England, and it's England, the UK as a whole has had a lot of storms recently, which has been a bit tricky with flooding. Luckily we live quite high up, so we're used to the wind, but we've been pretty okay. We haven't had any power cuts as yet, touch wood. So it's actually got a bit of sunshine today. Today I am wearing my Daffodil sweater. This is a design by Wallin. It was a labour of love. It's a very, very beautiful all over lace pattern. I'll put a picture of the original pattern in here, but a lot of you might be familiar with this one already. I got this as an individual pattern, but I believe it's in a collection of hers. I think it's the Springtime. Is it called Spring or Springtime? There's a book, a lovely book you can get with quite a few patterns. I believe this is in one of those, but I got it as an individual pattern. It looks more complicated than it is. It is all over lace, but I think on the pearl side, on the wrong side, you're just, knitting the knits and purling the pearls, so that's okay. It is knitted in pieces bottom up. You've got, as you can probably see, I'm looking at myself in the thing, you've got different panels and they repeat. So once you've got all the panels together and worked it out, I used markers to keep a track of where I was, like on the edge of each panel, which really, really helped. And I enjoyed it. I knitted this in Virtual Yarns Hebridean 2-ply. That's the Alice Starmore yarn, and this shade is Witchflower. And I used this in my Catherine Howard cardigan as one of the contrasts in the little cables and that. And I just love the colour so much that I actually went out and bought a load of it, and then I thought I'm going to knit my blue daffodil in this. So yeah, I'm really pleased. It's a lovely yarn to knit with. It's a lovely pattern. The only problem I have, and this is me, not the pattern, I think, it's just the way that I am. I often find Marie Wallin patterns are quite tight on the arms for me, and so far that hasn't actually inspired me. I should have thought ages ago, I need to change something. I just sort of keep knitting and hoping for the best, but what I really need to do is have a look at, all I need to do is knit a larger, I would say, arm size, although they are set in sleeves, so it might, are these set in sleeves? No, they're not. Sorry, a lot of Marie Wallin patterns are set in sleeves. This would have been fairly simple, to knit a larger arm size and just, make the sleeve opening come a bit further down, and it would have just been fine. Because I think that's why I don't wear it more. It's just a little bit tight here. There's loads of armhole depth. That's not the issue. I'll stand up so you can see it. It's a little bit loose there, but I don't think it fits badly. But I think if it was a bit looser on the arms, I would feel like it was meant to be a little bit, just a tiny bit of positive ease. Whereas when it's like this close on the arms, I feel like the rest of it should be quite tight, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm pleased with it. I wore this when I was climbing up that flipping mountain. I went on about that a few episodes ago, Scaffold Pike, where I accidentally climbed a mountain, and I did wear this. Excuse me. I did wear this on that day, and it just showed that wool really does do the job. I wasn't too hot, I wasn't too cold, I probably was quite sweaty. It kept me right, and I was really glad I wore it and not something more synthetic, because it is 100% wool, this yarn. And yeah, that's pretty much all I've got to say about this. I think I have mentioned it before, but I don't think I've worn it before, so here it is. Now today, I don't have any finished objects because I've gone a little bit mad with the whips, with the works in progress. Where shall we start? I'm going to look at my list. Right, I know last time I was doing the sorrel sweater, getting in a little bit of a muddle with it. It's actually gone away into the naughty corner because I just realised I wasn't happy with how it was working. And the problem was, the reason I wanted to do the soul sweater, and normally I find a pattern I want to do and I find the yarn to match, but I've done it the other way around this time and it's blowing my mind. So this is the yarn I found at Yarndale. It's Temporal Spin and it's Dragon Scale, and that's the shade. It is a 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and it is so gorgeous. I love this colour so much. And I bought a couple of skeins and I looked, I thought, oh, this would be nice for the soul sweater. I could strand it with a mohair, yum, yum, yum. And when I've started knitting it, the contrast just isn't there. It's not, it's the mohair, it's beautiful, the fabric's beautiful, but the mohair, it's not mohair, the silk, baby alpaca and silk mohair substitute that I use, the Cumulus, is overpowering the colour of this, and that's not what I want. So it's not that I'm not going to finish my soul sweater, but I've put it to one side because I'm going to just get it and show it to you because I'm talking about something that isn't here. So here is the soul sweater as I left, pretty much as I left it last time. It's not even on stitch holders, that's how cross I am with it. But it's staying quite well. So I think it does work beautifully with the silk, Life in the Long Grass, silk merino that I used at the top, because you're supposed to fade the colours in. And then when I started doing the Dragon Scale, it does show a little bit in this light. But anyway, I was losing it and I didn't want to lose it, especially if you look on the bits in between. I'm going to lose all the beauty of the colour. So it's not that I don't want this, it's not that this is going to go to waste, but I may put it back a little bit, and then I've got some more of this, but in blues, that might strand beautifully with the aubergine fibre space Cumulus that I've got for this, and it could still really work. But for now, I do think it's going to be nice. But for now, it's going in the naughty corner whilst I think. I got a bit too excited. Everything's everywhere. So I went back to this, which is what I love, and had a bit of a think. And I ordered another skein of it from Temporal Spin because I'm clearly obsessed. And I went online, I looked at the amount of yarn I had in the first instance, and I found a pattern that I thought would really, really work and would really just, I think I needed something that would just be about the yarn and just showcase the yarn and not have anything sort of too going on with it, just very simple, and just let the yarn do the talking, the colours do the talking. And I found a pattern called the Cozy Classic Light by Jessie Mead Designs. I'll put a picture up here. Excuse me, I think I get alpaca up my nose when I get my wool out. Yes, so I found the Cozy Classic Light, and then I committed and then realised I need, because I'm not knitting, there's lots of different versions. There's short sleeves, there's cropped, there's long sleeved, non-cropped, and I realised I would basically need another skein if I wanted to knit the long sleeve non-crop version. So I ordered another skein, like I said, and I have made quite a bit of progress. It's a bit crumpled because it's been in my bag. Where's the back and where's the front? This is the back. So here it is. And I just think, how beautiful that is. It's really coming through. It just has such a lovely sort of sheen to it, partly because of the crumples. I'm on the stage now. It's knitted off, as you can see, top down in the round, and now I'm going round and round and round until I get to the waist shaping, because you can do it where it's a little bit shaped on the waist, which I really like. It just suits my body type. And I have paused on this. I got really excited, got quite far on this. We went to see the film Ferrari. I'm not a big petrol head fan, but my partner loves his cars, and I'm sort of rolling my eyes a bit. There were just so many amazing films we could have gone to see, and there was Napoleon, there was a mad one I can't remember the name of, there was Wonka, and he was like, no, please want to see Ferrari. So I went in. Thank God I took my knitting. Honestly, I was just, it just baffled me. I don't want to do any spoilers, but you know, by the end we come out and you're just like, and I was like, well, what's the point? What is the point in any of that? And James was just like, they're really fast, Mel. I was like, well, I don't need like a 2-hour film to tell me Ferrari. Anyway, I got a lot of knitting done. But then the weather started getting really cold, and I must just be a seasonal knitter, because I was just like really enjoying this, but very aware that it wasn't going to be warm enough here to wear this for quite a while, or it felt like it wouldn't be at that stage. I think it was really cold. It was ice on the ground, there was snow, it was I do like snow for the kids to play in, but I don't like snow when I've got to get through it to work, and sort of slip about and try and put the bins out and stuff. I've got a real old person's view of snow now, which is sad. But anyway, this wasn't the thing for me to be knitting on when it was really cold, so I put it to one side. So that is as far as I've got with it. Knitting size medium, because you need to knit it, allow it to be a bit roomy, especially at the top. And I'm using 2.75mm needles, and that's why you can see the little tiny stitches. Oh, I've even done my little swatch, and I've blocked my swatch, so I think that's right. So I've put it to one side, but not for long, because, you know, we're going to be in February in a minute. It's just the end of January. It's the 27th of January today. So although it still feels very wintry, spring is round the corner, everyone. So that is in my project bag that I got from Yarndale last year. And I will pick that up, and it won't actually take that long to finish that, I think, once I pick it up again, because I've just got to do to the waist and then add the sleeves, and I might even do 3/4 length sleeves depending on how impatient I am. And then I'll have my lovely Cozy Classic Light and the beautiful Temporal Spin yarn. I'm not sponsored by anyone, I just really like that colour. Right, so that's one whip. And this is why I haven't got any finished objects for you. It's because I've just gone a bit mad with the whips, and it's making me feel a bit itchy and a bit excited, and I need to get things finished. The next whip I have is the Arches Cardigan by, I haven't got her name in front of me, but it's from my Handknits from Rauma book. I've got quite a long way with this, and this is where I've been spending most of my time, as you can tell. This is a traditional Norwegian kofte, knitted bottom up in the round. This is so cool. I'm so excited about this. This is still curling. We discussed this last time. I do have a bit of pretty tape somewhere that I can always pop under there if blocking doesn't resolve it, but one of you lovely watchers commented and said you thought the blocking would sort it out. Isn't it gorgeous? This is the most fun thing to knit. It's not complicated. I know Fair Isle or colourwork, so what you call it, it's not Fair Isle, or is it Fair Isle? Colourwork always looks complicated, and that's part of its charm. It's so easy. It's 2 colours. You follow a chart. It's just, I recommend it to anyone. If you haven't done it before, give it a try. What I am nervous about is the steeking. So I've got my little steeking stitches there, not very many. I know some people like more. I think there's only 4 there. A little bit stressed about that, but I've got all of the body. I have also completed a sleeve. And I've even knitted the sleeves in the round as well, because a lot of the time I do, if I have sleeves to knit in the round, because I don't really like sort of messing about, I prefer knitting things flat and seaming them. I'm one of those strange people. I will sometimes just knit the sleeves flat because it's easier, and then seam them and sort of adjust the pattern. But this time I wanted to stick to the traditional way, and it does make sense with colourwork to knit it in the round, because you're always on the knit side then, never on the purl side. And I have, yeah, knitted it in the round. It's a little bit messy. There's where I've joined my round. You can see it's a little bit messy there, but that's sort of a bit where the seam will be inside under the arms. So, and hopefully when it's blocked, it'll look a bit better as well. And this is as far as I am with the second sleeve. So I'm very close to getting somewhere with this. I am using Jamieson's of Shetland double knitting. The shades are Petrol and Natural White. I'm really loving them together. I keep looking at the camera going, they look a bit darker on camera than they are in real life. I don't know if you come back. This blue isn't far from this blue, but the contrast I think makes it look a bit darker. Yeah, the steeking, whilst I'm sort of excited to try it on the front, because I know I've watched tutorials, I know you sew with a sewing machine down both sides, and then you very carefully cut down the middle. That's gonna be scary, but I know what sort of feel like I know how to do it in theory. What is really stressed me out though is that at some point I'm going to have to put a marker here and a marker here. The pattern does tell me. And then I'm going to have to sew and then cut the knitting just open, and there's no steeking stitches built into the pattern from what I can tell, unless I've misread it. So that is what's scaring me. Not only is it my first steeking project, this is going to be the first time it's a sticky wool. I'm sure it'll work, but it's really making me nervous, the thought of doing that. So I want to finish this, but at the same time I'm sort of, you know, getting to the end of the second sleeve is making me go, ooh. But I've joined a knitting group, and they meet on the first Sunday of every month. So I am thinking of going to see them. Yeah, that would be next Sunday. And I might take this, and I'm sure one of the ladies there has done steeking before and can give me some tips and, you know, reassure me that it will be okay. So, and again, I went to focus on this because it's completely addictive as well. You know, you always want just one more row, just one more round, just one more round, because you just want to see, you can see the picture building as you knit it. But also I really want to get some wear out of this year, and I want to get this done. It'd be nice to get it done for February, because then at least it'll be cold. It's pretty cold here until sort of April normally. So I should get some wear out of it. And it's going to be, it's knitted size large. It's very large. I want a big oversized thing that I can put on top of other jumpers and be like Mrs. Doyle wearing lots of cardigans. And yeah, just to slob about in the weekends. Yeah, walk the dog in. But yeah, so I'm very, very happy, as you can tell, about that. I want to show you the book that it's from, but I might have to just flip through that once I'm done, because I've got my Cocoa Knits magnetic board. I won't show you because the charts are there and I don't want to overshare the pattern, but everything's sort of like this, and the rulers are there to show me where I am on each row, and it'll take ages to take it apart. So I'm well, it won't take ages, but then I'll have to remember where I am for the row and reassemble. So yeah, I will go through it once I've finished it and sort of give the book full credit. But I've put a picture of it and the name of the designer up as well, so that you can see here. Yeah, so that's my Arches cardigan. I'm sure I've tilted, you just have to bear with me. This is it's a very sensitive, weird tripod. Are you all right? You feel like it's sort of doing this. I'll end up like that. Oh dear. The next whip, because yes, there is another one, is one I might have mentioned it on my SWIP, on my soon-to-be whip bit, which is things that have caught my eye, and the list grows ever longer and I never quite catch up with it. I might have mentioned it before. I have started knitting the Blank sweater by Kim Hargreaves. It's in this book form. I was going to knit the Linden sweater from the book that I used for the Carter hoodie pattern. Where's that gone? Is it full? Oh, hang on, that'd be good if it was just there. I'm never this organised. Yeah. So in Kim Hargreaves' fall book, I spotted the I always wanted to knit the Blank sweater. It's always been on my radar. But I spotted this Linden one, and I thought, oh, that's basically the Blank sweater, just in slightly different yarn. Hang on. That's a different one. There's so many lovely patterns in here. So I saw this one and I thought, ooh, that's basically the Blank, surely with slightly more structured wool. And there's not much. I think this one's got split sides, which I don't think the Blank has. And it's knitted in alpaca soft DK. So it is just slightly different. Well, I think the split goes quite far up, actually, you can see there. Anyway, I cast on for this initially, and then realised, well, it looks so massive, and I thought, oh, that can't be right. And it probably was right, but I think my heart was with the Blank. So I always love a bit of Kim Hargreaves. So I ordered the form book, which has the Blank in. And I mean, there's quite a few podcast reviews of this, but there are some really lovely designs, and I don't know if you can see that. That's so pretty. That's the mode That's lovely. I really like that. That's the slide. A lot of these are knitted in Alpaca Classic. I'll be able to see that one. There's a really lovely, like there's a lovely short sleeve black cabled one. I don't know if you can see that properly. Anyway, there's so many gorgeous ones. Oh, and this one. That's so cool. I really want to knit that. Oh, there's so many. Right, let's find the blank. This is the blank. It's a massively oversized, squidgy soft, drapey sweater. It's knitted in Alpaca Classic, which I think Alpaca Soft DK is a combination of merino and alpaca, whereas Alpaca Classic is a blown shaft of cotton with alpaca. I believe that is the difference. So, got excited and ordered loads of this green colour. And this is, well, it's exactly the same as, I don't know if any of you watched the Stitching Over the Days podcast. I mean, she hasn't podcasted for a long time. I absolutely love that one. And Constance knitted this exact pattern in this exact colour. But it was a gorgeous knit, and I'm shamelessly copying her. But isn't it a lovely green? I haven't got a lot of green, and I do love green. And I thought it would be a really, it's a very light, lofty, and yet a little bit drapey because of the alpaca yarn. And I thought, well, what a great big drapey thing to just snuggle up in, like after the end of the day, after work. I'm trying to get into my yoga gear, so there's more of a chance of me doing some exercise in the evenings. Just get home, get out of my work gear, get into my yoga gear. I could put a lovely big drapey cuddly thing on top, especially in the winter. Again, this is all completely brought on by the snow. I just decided I've got to knit snuggly things. And because I've really, I'll talk about my half and half wrap in a minute, but I've really run out of steam on that, and I just thought I need a plain thing that's not going to annoy me as much as that is annoying me at the moment. So I've been very flighty for me. Anyway, I had to pause on the Arches cardigan to order more wool because I was running low, and I used that time to really crack on with the blank. And I have knitted the back. It's massive, isn't it? But it's a good massive. And again, when I cast on for the linden and then pulled it out, I remember thinking this is too big. It was probably similar to this, because you know when you cast on, sometimes it does look really big and then it sort of sorts itself out. So looking carefully, there are design differences between the linden and the blank, but I'm pleased that, you know, my heart was with the blank. I'm knitting the blank. And that is where we are now. I can't show you how light this is, obviously, on this, but it is just squishy and airy. A lot of the pattern pages on Ravelry where people have knitted this pattern and talked about the yarn is saying it's very soft and very warm. I don't know how hard wearing it's going to be. I mean, Rowan do lovely quality yarns usually. The cotton part of it will probably be fairly sturdy. Oh, I've just realised I've dropped a stitch there. Look at that naughty stitch. Hold on. Got a little light bulb marker. I'm just going to catch that stitch there with this and then fix it later. Good job I showed you. So yeah, I do think, I mean, that is my one worry, is like, will it wear thin? Is this going to be a hard wearing sweater? Only time will tell, but I'm enjoying it. I think I will get a lot of use out of it once it's done, and we'll just have to see. It is a lot of stocking stitch, but you can take it everywhere with you. It's knitted bottom up in pieces, as a lot of, or nearly all of Kim Hargreaves' designs are. I like a bit of seaming, I like knitting in pieces, and it means that it's very transportable, so I can just take bits to work if there's a meeting, or, you know, out in the car, or to the cinema if I get taken to see any more very long films about cars. Yeah, he does take me to see other things. I'm being a bit mean. Yeah, so it's just nice to have that ongoing. And another beautiful Kim Hargreaves book. I'm laughing because myself and the Nikki from Knitting with Cat Hair podcast, we're both into Kim Hargreaves at the moment, and we keep she's got this because I was showing this, I think last time, it might have been last episode, and she messaged me to say I've got it, and it was like almost the same day that I got this, and I sent a picture, I've got this. We were just maniacally swapping Kim Hargreaves patterns. Nikki does some beautiful stuff on her podcast, and she very kindly mentioned me on hers, I think her last episode. And so hi Nikki, if you're watching, thank you very much. And she's doing, I think you're going to try the Carter hoodie, aren't you, Nikki, in this? And then she's got her eye on a few in there, so we'll watch that space. So that is whip number 3, and I'm still. I don't think I've had any progress since I last met you all, since I last recorded. This is where I am with my half and half wrap. I'm so discouraged with this. I think it's just, I didn't think I was an impatient knitter, but I think I maybe am. I think I want the thing. I'm a project knitter, not a process knitter. This is battering my brain because you know what it is? Every single row, because of the short rows, the wrap and turns, it's getting longer every time I knit a row, and I've got like so many rows. So I've got that many more rows to do, like twice. I really want it. I'm not going to get it till next winter. I will do it because I really want it. I think I just need a break, and I just need a bit of downtime, and it might be something that I pick up and go mad with. I might do it this winter, but it could be that I get to the autumn and go, right, and just really, really go for it. We'll see. We'll see. Only time will tell. I don't like having things unfinished, but I also get really excited about new things. So I'm not comfortable with too many whips, but I always want to knit all the things. So I'm in a constant push and pull, and then I look at the weather and I get influenced by the weather. So, but it's a lovely problem to have, lots of beautiful things, and what do I work on next? At some point I'll just have to focus on one and just get it done. I think my Arches Cardigan will be the first thing to get off the needles. Okay, so don't have any finished objects. We've covered that in detail. I do have some swips. My swips, my soon-to-be whips list grows ever longer, and I won't repeat the ones. I try not to repeat the ones I've mentioned before, but there are probably a couple that get repeated. I won't show you a picture, but I did mention I've got the Maud blouse I want to knit. Everything's ready for that. I've got the Naskala, I can't pronounce that. I've got the Knitting for Olive yarn I discussed last time, that's ready to knit. Oh, so many things I want to knit. But the new things that have caught my eye are, one is a gift knit, so it is the Bunny Wishes Mittens pattern by Sarah L. Kelly. I'll put a picture in. I've got a friend, and she lives on an island, and I won't say where. She lives very far away, my best friend from school, and I won't say no, she's a very private person. I don't think she watches this, so I think I can get away with talking about a present for her here. But she loves nature, and I think she'll really, really like these if I do them in maybe some sort of a dark green and a light green, or maybe a pale brown and a dark brown. I'll have to think about what I'm going to do. The only thing is, I'm not sure how she is with really scratchy wool, because I'd like to do them in a really hard wearing sort of Shetland yarn, like my Jamieson's of Shetland. I love the Spindrift, and I've got quite a bit of that. And they will soften once I block them. I might risk it and do it in that, because I want them to be hard wearing, and that is perfect for the colour work. I think the sample's knitted in superwash though, sort of with a nylon in it, so maybe that would be something to think about too, because then they would be very soft but not as warm. I think superwash isn't always as warm as its woollier counterpart. We'll see, but that is definitely on my list, ready for her birthday, but her birthday's not till later in the year, so watch this space. They'll be back again soon. And I do promise I watch other podcasts. I know I go on about Nikki a lot, but Nikki and I keep knitting the same patterns. Nikki from Knitting with Cat Hair is running a Jennifer Beale knit along, or a Beale along. I think that's right. Correct me if I'm wrong, Nikki. And so there's just birds outside, so I'm looking at the birds. And I wasn't going to join in because I've got so much going on, but it is going on until August, and I do really like the Jennifer Beal patterns. And then I saw the one Nikki had chosen to knit. I might put a picture of it in here, I can't remember the name of it. It's a beautiful sort of bohemian top. And at first I was like, oh, I'm going to end up knitting the same thing as Nikki again, because that's so cool. But then when I looked at the pattern, I think is a bit too, the shape of it is going to, boxy things don't suit me if it's just boxy, because for some reason I end up looking 6 months pregnant whenever I wear anything that's too sort of too relaxed or too short. Anyway, it just doesn't work for me. But I realised I already have a Jennifer Beal pattern in my queue, and that is the Trépassé. Is it Trépassé? Am I trying to French that up a bit? If I was going to say it in an English accent, I'd say Trépassé, but it's probably the Trépassé. And it is a gorgeous lace cardigan. It's double knit. I thought at first it would be 4-ply, but it's double knit. I haven't checked what the original yarn is that's used yet, but I've got a picture of doing this in either a white linen, or actually no, because it's double knit. I've only got a thread count linen. One of the yarns I would love to use is it called Goose Down? So I'm not making much sense. Virtual Yarns, Hebridean 2-ply, have this shade. It's white, but it's not white. It's white made up of tiny little other colours. So like close up, there's tiny bits of like really pale blue and pale pink and things in it. But from a distance it looks white. It's sort of heathered, I suppose, white. And I've always wanted to knit something in that. And I always thought I'd like to knit a sort of Aran sweater in it, but they don't have that colour in the 3-ply weight, the heavier weight, which is what you need for the plumpness of the Aran yarns to do the cables. But it does, it's the same weight as this, and this knits up, I believe, as 4-ply, but I think you can get away with double knit. So if I could get that yarn and get gauge, that is what I would like to knit the Trépassé in as part of the Be Along. Haven't started yet. I think I will just probably do it in the spring or in the summer when I want to wear a white cardigan draped over all the dresses that I love. So that is another one on my SWIP list. And it's a shorter SWIP list than usual, that's because I've started loads and not finished anything. And yeah, next time I'm on, I will probably have, you know, like a magpie, seen something else over there and forgotten this, that or the other. But yeah, I think that's part of the fun of knitting, is like always thinking like, what are you going to make next? What's the plan? I also must start knitting my youngest a sweater, because he has noticed that my eldest has 2. He has none. But to be fair, he is 15 now. He'll be 16 in September, and I was waiting for the inevitable growth spurt, because I thought I'm not putting in labours of love in every stitch, you know, over weeks at a time to knit him this sweater that he then grows out of in about 10 seconds. So I'm a selfish knitter. And if I'm going to knit a loving sweater, I want it to last for a long time. So I thought I'll wait, and he's shot up. He must be 6 foot now. And I think if I give it till next winter and then knit him a generous sized one, fingers crossed. I'm not saying he won't grow anymore, but I think we'll be in that sort of ballpark where, you know, we could knit a slightly oversized one and he'd probably grow into it, fingers crossed. Yeah, so I don't know if I mentioned this last time. I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself. I do that. It really annoys people, but it keeps me entertained because I'm quite forgetful. We've settled on a certain design. We haven't settled on the wool. I'll put a picture of the design and put beneath, well, I can't remember the life of me what it's called at the moment. That's the one that I think he likes the most. He suits blues. He suits blues, he likes blues, he likes black. I think he looks better in a blue. I'll let him choose the colour. He might go for a grey, be a bit safe. And the issue is that I'd like to knit it in a 100% wool, so it lasts and it's like an heirloom piece, but he has got really sensitive skin, and I don't want what I knit him to just be unwearable for him because it's too scratchy, which could be a risk. And he doesn't really layer, he just sort of, you know, he's a teenage boy, he just flings things on and flings them off again and doesn't really bother with layers underneath things. And if it's itchy, he won't think to put a long sleeve top underneath it and then put it on top, he'll just not wear it. So I might need to either get a superwash for him, which might be the compromise, or just get an acrylic. I used to love knitting with acrylic and knit with acrylic all the time because it was affordable and I didn't really understand how nice wool could feel. But now I've become a yarn snob. It's not that I think acrylic's particularly bad, I just don't like the feel of it anymore. I've like, oh, it just doesn't feel as nice on my fingers. And if I'm going to knit something that isn't for me, I don't know if I want to use acrylic. So we'll see. We'll see. I need to make sure that it's right for him. So superwash might grow. I'll discuss it with him and we'll see. But yeah, that's another plan I've got bubbling away in the back of the cauldron of my brain for next year, for this coming year. So I don't really have a lot more to say. We've been going out for walks. James and I walked around Craster last week, a couple of weeks ago. I might put some footage in of that at the end because there was a lovely one. The waves were really mad from a storm. There were sheep just next to the sea, and it was really lovely actually. And I'm just, yeah, things are just really busy trying to keep two teenagers at their schoolwork and when they're giddy and trying to go off with their friends all the time, and just at work and trying to knit a lot. I really enjoyed my time off over Christmas, and it's we're back at the grindstone, back to work now, and just looking forward to the spring, but making the most of the winter because the winter means lots of jumper wearing. What a time to be alive. So yeah, I think that's it. Thank you very much, by the way, last time, for all of your kind comments and all of your input and suggestions for the sorrel. It was really, really appreciated, and I always love hearing about where people are from and what you're working on, and any advice or any tips that you've got are really, really useful. So thank you very, very much, and keep the comments coming. If you want to, you can subscribe. That would be nice. It helps my channel. And if you want to find me on social media, I could be found on Instagram as MellyArt13, and I am on Ravelry as MellyArt. This is really good timing because the clouds are just coming over again. I think I'm losing the light. I hope you're knitting on loads of things that make you really happy, and thank you for watching. I'll see you again soon. Bye.